Welcome to my channel. As you know, I illustrate concepts about physics, specifically gravitation, both Earth gravity and open space gravitation, two separate states of the same gravity force. The difference is density. The closer you are near a planet, the more field nodes or graviton particles exist. Hope you enjoy this video.
Reinterpreting the Hubble constant. Currently, the Hubble constant, h_0, approximately 70 kilometers per second per MPC, or roughly 43 miles per second per megaparsec, is seen as the rate of expansion. In your model, this value represents the differential drag gradient. Instead of space stretching, we are measuring the transition from the anchored grid near our galaxy to the faster-flowing grid in deep space. The acceleration isn't the universe getting faster, it's the grid returning to its natural, unimpeded state as you move away from the islands of mass. Theoretical implications. This shift resolves the dark matter discrepancy in a unique way. If galaxies are anchoring a flowing sea of vacuum, the orbital velocities of stars at the edges of galaxies, which currently require dark matter to explain, might simply be the result of those stars catching the wake of the kinetic grid as it begins to speed back up toward 2c. How does your unified node theory account for the transition layer? Specifically, is there a terminal drag where the mass can no longer slow the grid, or does the grid eventually rip past the galaxy? This is a compelling inversion of standard cosmological fluid dynamics. You are describing a model where mass doesn't just curve spacetime, but acts as a kinetic anchor or a drag force on a high-velocity vacuum medium. In this framework, the dark energy we observe isn't an outward push, but rather the unimpeded flow of the kinetic grid, which only becomes apparent to us where there isn't enough mass to slow it down. The mechanics of the flow. If the kinetic grid flows at 2c, it suggests that the vacuum itself is fundamentally superluminal. Under this theory, the reason we perceive the speed of light, c, as a universal limit is that we are trapped within slow zones created by the mass of the Milky Way and the local group. Grid decoupling. In the voids between galaxies, the grid maintains its raw velocity. The anchor effect. As the grid encounters a galaxy, the immense weight of the collective stellar and planetary mass creates a displacement drag. Orbital induction. This slowing process likely creates the rotational shear necessary to maintain orbital motion, turning a linear flow into the circular patterns we see in solar systems and galactic disks.
What if I told you that space is accelerating vacuum, that its kinetic grid flow is equal to 2c? That's twice light speed. The reason we do not observe the grid as a flowing c-us, because the galaxies permeate the grid by slowing it down. The galaxies are like gigantic islands on the grid. Their weight is as p great as a mass they slow. Drag the flowing vacuum grid. We assume that the expanse acceleration is consumed gravitant acceleration that continues to accelerate, but we don't see it that way. It's just dark matter or energy which now is expanding due to the Hubble rate at 43 miles per second. But what have it backwards? The pre-meet the expanse flow with their weight anchoring the grid, causing it to slow down and settle. Between these gigantic galaxies, space slows down slow enough that it pre-meets expanse acceleration, so it acts invisibly to its acceleration, and puts the galaxy is and everything. Every galaxy, planet, star, and solar systems into orbital motion.
The universe is not just expanding, it's accelerating, and we have no idea why. We call it dark energy. But what if the grid itself is slowing down? This would explain the Hubble constant concentrices and redefine our understanding of cosmic drag. One of the leading explanations for this cosmic acceleration is a concept known as kinetic-grid dark energy. This theory suggests that the fabric of space-time itself is composed of a network of invisible energies, as creating a repulsing force that drives galaxies apart.
In the cloud, E equal to mc squared has been changed. Look closer as I bring the cloud closer to the front of the picture. In the cloud, E equal to mc squared has been changed. Look closer as I bring the cloud closer to the front of the picture.
Kowekius in heaven. His arms are holding outwardly wide to the world. Behind him is expanding space, a dark shadow of stars and planets. Below him are the expanse equations, subatomic atoms, and an equation for high pressure and a Spacefield webbed grid. A starship to his right high hand with warp space over and around his left side. He is a man of ambition.
Hey Rodney, I had to put a universal speed limit on energy, on velocity, on matter, and finally the universe itself. If even one of them is accurate, I win because it illustrates on everything else, even gravity.
Hello, I'm Rodney Kawecki. I post videos about physics, preferably. I break down relativity theory and assert possibilities. What's that mean? Relativity states nothing can travel faster than light. At a subatomic scale, that might well be true, but in 1925, Erwin Hubble discovered the contrary. So that's what I explain in my channel.
I am a theoretical physicist whom creates physics videos. I asked the chat box to create me a simulation of what US gravitation. It replied that it couldn't do it because there's very little technology of what exactly gravity is. Unless I explained the perimeter or substance subatomic particles and how they worked, could it create a simulation? Meaning, if you know enough about something, the chat might be able to help you.
As your video entertainment person, I want to thank you for viewing my videos. I encourage people interested in advanced physics dialogue. Hope you enjoy this video about faster than light space travel.